Welcome to Pivot Happens, the plucky little podcast that could, with Anne Kingston and Von denMeer.
Episode 7, Part 2. For those about to pivot, make sure they salute you. Anne and Von denMeer continue their discussion of how and when they felt safe to share their pivot journeys. It's hard because what I think that does to you is then it creates this person inside you who's young,
good enough,
who's young, who doesn't think they're good enough, and is then always looking externally for someone to say, you are good enough, it's good enough,
exactly.
Try, and yet you don't then have the ego strength, whatever you want to call it, to put something out there to be judged, because it is.
Right.
Trust me, this process is a process of judgment. It's saying to someone, do you think my book is good enough for you to take it and take it to publishers?
Yeah. Right.
Ouch. So, but
right.
Again, to me, the person who really is not successful is the person who says things like, isn't that like wanting to be a movie star? You can't be a movie star, so quit. That's the person who's not successful. The person who takes the risk, writes the book, writes the whole thing, starts sending it out to be, with millions of other people with the same idea, not the same book idea, but the same idea of I want to have this. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's being successful. That is it, because it doesn't matter how it turns out. I don't care how this turns out. I want people to read the book. I want to make a change. I mean, I want to help people and affect change and do all of that, however that can happen. But I've already succeeded in my mind. It's like, because I broke beyond that. I broke beyond just, because I think in no small part that has to do with why there are so many unfinished manuscripts living on hard drives.
Yeah.
Because I had this voice all the time that was like, this just isn't good enough. This just isn't, this is terrible. This isn't good. And it's like, I know that's not all of it, but that's certainly a big kernel in there of that lack of belief in myself. So, I mean, for whatever reason, I will say too, I mean, it was not just her. I don't know, with my family, like, on both sides, I would not say there were a lot of believers in big dreams. Other than making money, I mean, my monetary success was certainly a big goal for a lot of people in my family. I mean, that was how they measured their self-worth. Certainly in my dad's family, that was how they measured success in life. But also not, because I mean, that's the mean grandpa who every time I saw him, when I switched from pre-med to pre-law, whenever I tell him, he asked me what I was doing in college, and I'd say I'm in pre-law, he'd say, I thought you were going to be a doctor. I'm like, yeah, nope. But, so it wasn't like, and it's interesting too, like my grandma, his wife, my dad's mom, she would do this thing where, it was so weird. Yeah, I think about my family. When I tell my therapist things, I quite often think, does she think I'm making some of this shit up? Because and I know probably everybody kind of feels that way to a degree, but I got some crazy shit in my life. But anyway, my grandma, we would go to their house, like you'd have to go visit the grandparents, Großeltern, and you have to go visit them and tell them about your, go be judged, go sit in the judgment seat, tell them about your life, And I remember like when I got into law school, and she would be like, Neil Strotter's going to law school in California. I'd be like, oh, okay. And it'd just be like, okay. I remember when I was, oh God, I was not only in a sorority in college, I was the president of the sorority, which to me seems very incongruous with the person I have become. But it's true nonetheless. Or that was once upon a time me.
Yeah.
It's a different world, kids. And I remember telling her that, and I'll sanitize this for public consumption. So I told her I'm the president of my sorority, and she said, well, we'll call her Lily. Lily is the manager of the dining hall at her school. It was just like, well, if I wasn't sorority president, I was going to go for manager of the dining hall because that was, it was just like, and nothing wrong, no tea, no shade. Whatever, that's great. She did that. Good for her. But it was like, that was like the kind of thing, like, don't ever think you're special. Don't ever think you're, interesting. And I mean, and I don't know that life is about being thought special or whatever, but I mean, it was just like this constant, like, crushing of whatever, of you, of your dreams, of your life. So it's like, so I
That
think
was your mother's mother, right?
no, my dad's mom. That was my dad's mom,
Oh.
not my nan.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
But now that also makes sense too, because your dad had that same. It sounds like had the same. Whatever you're doing. Not good enough. The bar's here. I'm at the bar. Now it's here. I'm at the bar. Now it's here. Yeah.
No, that was his dad. That was his relationship with his dad. My grandma, oh no, my dad couldn't have done a thing. Oh, he was her precious jewel. He was her everything. He was that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there is no, she drove him to school every day because he didn't like to ride a bus. I mean, it was just like, yeah, oh God. She wrote I've heard stories like that. She wrote his papers for him and stuff. I mean, yeah.
Oh wow.
No, that was, yeah, things you don't want to do with your sons.
Wow.
But yeah, so no, that was, no, his dad was like that with him for sure. Oh my God, my dad would go there and tell him about what he'd done, which was generally pretty, amazing. And my grandpa would just, with him, he'd go, what the hell did you do that for? And that was, yeah. So no, it was a mess, man. I mean, it was the generational shit. No. Yeah. So that was, but again, so how this all kind of then swirly twirlies back into sharing your pivots is maybe there is kind of a lesson in the judicious sharing of your pivots. Maybe it's not necessarily, vulnerability is a good thing. Martyrdom is a very different thing. If you know somebody is not going to be supportive and you still keep, Lucy with the football over and over again, going back to that well and hoping that this is the time they're going to be supportive.
Yeah.
That's just perpetuating, or not perpetuating, it's continuing your abuse from that person. It's, what's going to, it's the act of insanity. You know what's going to happen and you keep going back and hoping that somehow this time it's going to be different. So, I mean, maybe there's a caveat to, well, you're right, and like sharing with my cousin, that's a very different thing. He very well could be safe if he wants to do it or whatever, it's like that could be a very much a safe person to entrust it with. But others maybe not so much, you know what I mean? And I love that you, with your latest reader, had kind of a tacit agreement of, you may read, and I think we need to probably make clear, if people haven't, if you haven't watched all of our episodes up to this point, Anne writes romance novels that are sassy, sexy.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of spice in them.
Yeah, they're spicy. I think yours is tastefully spicy. It's not, because we've talked about some out there that are
I would say so.
Spicy.
Mine doesn't go past a certain point. Mine don't even, I mean, okay, for anybody who wants to read romance, it definitely gets a couple of there's definitely a lot of good stuff in there. Like, sometimes like I'm the romance reader. I'm definitely the romance reader where if it doesn't have a good couple of scenes in there, I'm not bothering with it.
Well, yeah.
But I will say this, there's definitely a lot out there that you're just like, oh my God, what am I reading?
Yes, exactly. It's like, whoo, okay, that's...
The other part too that was, for me, that was just one of those, we can't talk about it because we're coworkers and,
Right, boundaries. Work life, home, or life. No, but I think that's good too, that you kind of went into it with like, okay, this is the agreement, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear it, because I think too, for me, it would be harder with a man reading it. I mean, that's just sort of...
Yeah, no, that's also part of it too. It's like, well, you're a man and you read the book and oh my God, what, oh shoot, you know, like we can't talk about any of this stuff.
No, exactly. So
and
that's kind
of in my brain, you know, like...
wake up, men. Women think these things too. If any men out there are deluding themselves that...
A lot more than what my book does too.
Yes.
No, that was, I felt, in the part that was good too is that, you know, we've stuck to that agreement, you know, we're not going to talk about it.
Right. No. And still super awesome and supportive that he did read your book. You know, and left you a review. I mean, that's...
review. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all he said today was just keep writing. And I was like, okay, I am. Like, thank you. You know.
Yes. You have lots of stories. I can't wait. I cannot wait for your next one. I mean, I'm just so excited about that.
The next one is going to be freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I am so excited to go to Tallahassee. I think I'm going to bring my computer and like find a spot under a tree and just literally write there. Oh, at San Luis Mission.
Yes.
Sorry, at San Luis Mission.
I think that's inspired. I mean, to go there and to just be literally inspired by being in that setting, just soak that up, you know. Oh, excellent idea. Excellent. And might give you a little bit of a little rejuvenation. You know what I mean? Like kind of a little... Yeah.
Because plug. I mean, without going down too dark path, I think I'm having a really hard time right now because I'm in the last... probably easily 3 to 5 chapters of the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a hard part.
Now remember, how I write is this way. I have written the book as fast as I possibly can, and it is 60% very detailed, lots of stuff in there. But I'm going back to the very beginning, and I'm going to take it literally page by page, dialogue by dialogue, and really sit with it and let it soak and marinate. And then, you know, and then there's a lot of going back, and plus also there's so much about it because there's past life involvement. So there's got to be parts and pieces that connect throughout the book. And so I just want to make sure that's really well done. Yeah. So, but the most of what the setting is San Luis Mission. So, and that's one of the places I worked, which is why I felt like it was an easy choice because I've done, you know, enough research in the Spanish missions of Florida to choke a horse because it was my, my master's thesis topic. Yes. So yeah, no, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That's going to
be fantastic.
I cannot tell you how excited I am. I mean, that's going to be almost a month away very soon that I'm going. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, that is going to be awesome. And that, yes, I agree that going back, you first you're just like, bleh, you get everything out, you know what I mean? This is like the big overarching idea and everything. And then you go back, and then it is like, because in my book, she spends...
Mind you, it's 80,000 words, you know, I'm sorry, not 80,000. Is it 80,000 words? No. Yeah. 80,000 words. 80,000 words written draft. You know what I mean? Which is no joke.
No. I know for me, her story takes place in 2 weeks. Not the whole story at all, but the main first part of the story is these 2 weeks. And going back and trying to make sure that, and honestly, I don't know if somebody reading it would ever really figure out. It was like, hey, it seems like she was at that place here and there, you know? But it's like, it's important to me that it's accurate, that like, okay, this was this day and this is this day. I had like a whole, the things you do, like, you know, having this sort of timeline of how things play, and with past lives.
Yes. No, the timelines, the whiteboard is, yes, absolutely.
And then the graveyard, there's like this other document where pieces go, that they get buried there. They may stay dead. They may come back as a zombie and go back into the book. But it's like, that was good. That's really good. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work, which is so frustrating because it's like, God, I fucking love that. But it isn't right there. Or with mine, when I first started, it was, there are things that happened in my life for sure that influenced this book and everything like that. But there were also like petty grievances in my life about places I've lived, things like that, where it was like, I'm just punching down here. I don't probably need to be quite this mean about this particular community. So it was like,
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody's going to get that. And why are you doing it? So it was like,
we both talked about that's one of the best forms of therapy.
Yes.
To process that in
yes.
the book.
Yeah. Write it anyway. And then
people at work, people who really pissed us pissed us off. I remember at work, I mean, we're totally going down a different road, but I remember there was one weekend that came up, you and I both were working, and this one person just, I mean, it makes you question, what am I doing? Do I really need this job? Do I need to be putting my resume out there because this person is not someone I want to be working with? So bad. And you looked at me, camera, and you were like, you got to write about this weekend. Put him in your book. And I thought, oh my God, you're right. I'm going to put him in my book. And I'm telling you, it was the easiest. It's the easiest 3 chapters I've ever written. 4 chapters, 5 chapters. I don't even know. But yes. And it was the best form of therapy because I think that I came back that Monday morning and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. I'm not angry anymore.
I've worked through this. I've worked through it. You'll never know how. But I did.
So whatever it is.
Yes.
Whatever it is, it does feel therapeutic to get it out like that in a book.
Yes, exactly. Whether it stays in the book or not. Exactly. And in a way, you are exactly right because it was like, I needed to kind of let that stuff go. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
And if you really want to get really deep, okay.
Which I do.
Sometimes I think that those moments present themselves just for the very purpose of that influence or the memory to, as a writer, to pull this together so perfectly. Yeah. I know that's crazy out there, but I sometimes wonder, like, wow, that really worked. That was a great inspiration. And
yes. No, I agree wholeheartedly. I do. We are very much beyond just like you and I aren't like harsh rationalists where everything is science based and not. That sounds dumb. It's not.
No,
we transcend the laws of science or anything like that. We don't believe that. But I think we're both very. We believe in things beyond.
Yeah.
Right here in front of us, that there are universal forces at work, and that there's a plan. Things don't just happen. Things happen for a reason, and I think that's for us anyway. That's a big part of the pivot life. Is that first off, it really helps with those difficult pivots to try to at least look at it like, well, this really sucks, but or maybe you don't even do it right then. Like we've talked about, sometimes it takes a little distance before you can fully let go. My hair's bugging me here. Sorry. Before you can fully let go of before you can fully transition into that notion of because at the time, I mean, we've talked about many of them where it was like, man, at the time, not getting that job, I was so mad because I was going to get that apartment and I was going to do this and it was going to be so awesome. And then looking back and it's like, but I wouldn't live here and I wouldn't be doing this and I wouldn't be having all of this. So, thank you so much. Thank you, you jerk guys who interviewed me and said I wasn't good enough because I didn't live in Ohio. Yeah. I'm happy I don't live in Ohio. No offense to Ohio, but I'm happy I don't live in Ohio because I would have gotten that job. And trust me, if they were that much of an ass-ache during an interview, during an hour on the phone where I got off and was like, oh my God, I would work. Imagine what they would be like on the daily. Jesus, please, no.
To be that forthcoming about stuff. Yeah, I know. I've been in these interviews too.
My God. Like, when the interviews first started, the one guy, it was like, we talk about how people, like, when they really need you to know how smart they are, how it's really important to them that you immediately know just how smart they are. Well, he starts out with this thing about, well, marketing and this comes from this school of thought that blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you want me to write shit for you for proposals, right? Why are we talking about the philosophy of marketing? It was so... So again, this would have been my life every day. It wouldn't have lasted, and then I'd be living in this apartment and I'd be really stuck there, because like, okay, I got to keep working because I got this apartment. And I mean, not that I don't feel like that about this job, where it's not like, oh, I got to keep working because I got this. It's like, yeah, this is one of the lovely things I get because I have that job. It's very different. And yeah, anyway, but again, so it goes to show, it's like, it took some time in the moment. Yeah, I was real pissed off. It was like, that sucked.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I spent 6 weeks of interviewing and this is how it ends. That sucked, Yeah. But now it's like, oh, so good. It's so funny because I will say this, it still makes me nervous to talk about stuff like that. And I try to think about that in like my work on myself, that it's like, I'm so afraid then like something bad will happen. I still have that, and I hate that.
Wait, about what part?
Like that I'm going to get a bad pivot because I'm so blasé about it. Like the universe is going to be like, oh, you think you handled that well? Here you go, a lightning strike.
No,
and I don't like that about myself. I know, cancel clear, but still, I don't. It is, and I'm owning it here because I don't like that about myself. I don't like that I still have that little kernel, because it's like, do you just hear what you just said? You just said, and it's like, yeah, but it wasn't fun when it was happening.
I don't know if this helps, but what I tell myself in those moments of, oh God, what if I, just, jinx and is that, and I do believe this. Okay. So again, this is not for everybody. So I don't want it to sound like I'm, assuming, but what I believe is, because I've taken classes and I've done the work on learning this stuff now, maybe not to its fullest extent. I'm not by any means an expert. It's just that I've always believed in destiny. And so when I took classes on just, card reading and angel guidance and things like that, and just, understanding what was being presented to me in a more natural, true spiritual way, I really believe that we are all being guided to live out the best existence and for the best good. I mean, like everything is working in that direction. It's us that get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when, you have that moment of, oh my God, I just jinxed myself. It's like, I reset and I'm just like, no, remember, they're there. You've got the cheering squad behind you.
Yeah.
Moving you in the direction of where you're supposed to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I really do
I know that. I do. I know. And it's gotten way better. 'Cause I mean, there was one point, there were points in my life where that voice just kind of
took over. Yeah.
Kiboshed everything.
Yeah.
Now it's much more like, and it comes to that thing of, I want to be perfectly, completely healed. I don't want to ever have any, and it's like, so it's really just like these little pings of, and it's like, I wish I could get over that. That's really what it is. It's more like wishing, and so that's never going to happen, as we've discussed before. It's like, this is a journey, and we're constantly learning, and we're constantly still, yeah.
Like, when am I going to be done?
Yeah. Oh, never. Okay. Like I've always, that's my story was that
the rest of my life. That's
nice.
Yeah.
That was how I finally got completely healed, was realizing I was never going to completely heal and letting go of that. That's really, to me, the answer. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We just got to keep working on this, So again, it is a thing of me working toward just that, and always knowing that, there's going to be parts of me who get a little scared, it's a total trauma response. It is. It's totally, it's the product of coming out of an environment where I was told those things. Yeah, exactly. I was basically told, you'll be safer if you don't have dreams. You'll be safer if you expect the worst. Seriously. Told those things. So, it's a little hard to be like, everything's going to be fine, even if it's fine, it's fine. Anyway, we are all works in progress. And
I guess there's also a part of me that's kind of like, this is my dream, what I'm currently doing.
Yes.
Do I want it to be bigger? Do I want it to be more lucrative? Do I want to be making more money? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. However, I also want to say that I also have come to a place where I firmly believe that if I'm moving in the direction, if I'm constantly letting myself take the next step, pushing myself to do a little bit more every day, the path's either going to be there for me or it's going to move me in a different direction.
Yes.
And I'm I don't want to sound like I'm blindly trusting, but it's kind of like, it's what I always call the spiritual red carpet. It's like, it's either going to be there for me or it's not.
Yeah.
And I've been in the path where it is not the spiritual red carpet, and it is very hard and it's very frustrating, and there's lots of tears, and there's lots of insecurity, and there's lots of anguish, and it's no fun. And I know that the spiritual red carpet is fun. So it's kind of like I'm just trying very hard to let go and let like my guides lead me. So that's kind of where I go when I have those thoughts too, is like, you're being guided, just take the next step, because the next step will lead you to the next step, to the next.
I tell myself all the time, look where you are. Look what you did. Look what happened. You know what I mean? This seemed like as big a dream as getting my book published. Really, what I'm doing now seemed as insurmountable and as impossible as that could feel too. So it's like, well, you did that, you did this, and sometimes it almost feels like, how did I do that again? And it's like, no, I know how I did. I have told you the story about how when I was envisioning living here, I would go on Google Maps, and like I was like, okay, if I took this train, like what would the walk be from this train? Is it does it look safe to me? And at this, it's so funny to me now, because I think about, like, there's a pretty main street near me, and when I was first here, I thought, I wonder if this is safe. And now it's like, oh my God. It totally is. And it's like, it's kind of laughable almost to me now. It's like, yeah, that's a fine place to be. But here's the craziest part of that was where I picked and where I looked around without even knowing the name of this neighborhood, without even having a clue in my knowledge of this area. I walked to where I live now. And I didn't pick this apartment, this place, this neighborhood, or anything based on that. It was totally going through and being like, I got to get an apartment. I've decided to stay here now. I got to get an apartment. And just going, and this was like the first one, and they were like, yeah, sure, come on, you know. And it was like, and then realizing I had walked here before, online, and through this. So, I mean, it's like, and I tell myself, you got to get back to that stuff. You got to get back to seeing the shit happen.
That's very cool.
You've got to get back to really seeing it and not feeling like that was a gold mine, once in a life strike. You know what I mean? It's like, no, that was just you seeing what you wanted next and doing it, and then it happened. You know, and I'm not gonna say that. And it's like, get back to that again. Get back to that again. And granted, I mean, you always. Like, I've had some extraneous personal things, as you're well aware, going on in my life for the last month or so that have kind of shaken things up a little. And certainly, you know, working through processing that. And that's the thing, too. I mean, you can be doing all your great, best work and everything, and there is still life happening all the time. And it can be good or bad. And if nothing, it's distracting. It's hard and it's distracting. So, I mean, you've got that stuff, too. But, and it's interesting because, like, in my morning work that I do, my kind of meditative morning work and all of my visualizing, my tapping, all of that stuff, I've been really kind of getting this sort of message, whatever you want to call it, of start again, go back to the place where you got enthused, go back to that place, get back there, start over. Not, and I don't mean, you know, start over from ground zero. It's like, start from that place of, I'm going to get excited again, I'm going to get focused again, redo the same courses I was doing then. You know, go back, do it. So, yeah. Again, and really great example, it's just life is always still there. And, you know, in addition to all of this, if anybody thinks that we just, you know, sit around and live the Sweet Pivot lifestyle 24/7, I'm going to burst a lot of bubbles right now and tell you we do not. We have very full other lives, and somehow we still pull it together enough to keep trying to move this shit forward. And that's that's part of it. That's the resilience. That's a very
demanding job that requires more than 40 hours a week most of the time.
Yes, and emotionally draining quite often and high stakes and all of that. But that's the thing. The dream has to get to a place for you that you're like, okay, but this is still the most important thing. And this is where I'm going to put my real energy. This is where I'm going to put, this is what matters to me. And not, again, not that jobs don't matter. They do matter, but they're not our purpose. We know that. So, and that's okay. That's okay. So, but kind of wrapping up this whole big thing, obviously, once again, it's just not one of those things that has sort of a beginning and an end. It's more of an idea of like, so you're going to, because I'm sure that's something people deal with. It's like, I want to do this, but I get no support anywhere. It's interesting. There's a tarot card, the Seven of Swords, and that card is about being kind of wary of people because not everybody is in your corner. And I mean, that is harsh, but it's also true. There are some people who, because of who they are and maybe it's what they've been through, maybe it's their trauma, whatever it is, I've dealt with a slew of people in my life like that who really did not have my best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing.
Their best interest at heart.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's their best interest that they have at heart.
their unhealed parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still just like a crazy child, just slash and burn through life and just taking everything they can down with them. I mean, that's kind of the point of like that. What I'm saying here is like, that's an unfortunate kind of thing we have to face. Not everybody has our best interest or even their own best interest. Who knows why they do it? But it's like, so it's really important that if you encounter that, to get a sanity check, get somebody, to say, this doesn't seem right, does it? This isn't something someone should be doing to me. That isn't good, right? If you're not sure, if you don't have a therapist, whatever, it's like, and then also knowing that there are parts of us that draw them in because it's the trauma bond. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I know you because of this and you're familiar. Mm-hmm. And so here they are. So be really careful to not get caught in a loop of, I'm afraid I'm going to do something familiar. Familiar to me is somebody who, the wish squisher or whatever. So I'm going to tell you my idea just so that you can tell me how crazy it is to ever think nobody gets published. That's impossible. You don't know anybody. That. And it's like, so be kind of careful that you're not inviting that energy in because it's familiar. Yeah. Because with trauma, that's the problem with trauma, is it makes, whether it's good or bad, if it feels familiar, your brain can misinterpret that as safe. And that is, it's just not. It's just not. Yeah. So it's like all of this stuff, it's a process. It's a process of learning who to trust and taking risks, because that's part of it. You're taking risks and going after your dreams and your pivots. Sometimes you have to take a risk. Maybe my risk after this will be, just saying to my cousin, would you like to read my book? Would you be interested in doing it? Because I just wasn't sure. Maybe explain. Should I tell him 100%? This is why I picked her, not you. Because it was cute. Because he's like, so Michelle said she's reading your book, and I was like, oh yeah, because I didn't know, if she'd tell him or not. But and he was like, that's really great. It's really great. You're having people read it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I thought you knew. But so maybe that was kind of an open door where I can say to him. But anyway, we'll see, and I'll report back.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to read it too. I really.
Oh yeah.
I really. Your opinion means a lot to me. So
I know, and I promise. I promise.
That's how Laura did it. Laura did just like a few pages every night.
Keep it by my desk. Keep it by my bed. Mm-hmm.
Until you can't put it down.
Yeah, no, for reals. Yeah. I was thinking, I was like, I think I'll go to the beach this weekend. If I can go by myself, oh my God, if I can go by myself. I'll just sit and that read.
Was, for me, one of the most awesome parts was when Laura was like, I usually only read 3 or 4 pages a night of something. She said, and then she's like, I couldn't stop. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to hear. Because that's what you want. You know what I mean? You want the person to not be able to put it down, to want to know what happens next. Because that means You've hooked them. And that's the goal, man. The goal.
That's cool.
Hook them.
That's cool.
If nothing else, our podcast probably give people like some insight into the minds of writers, of what we go through, of what it's like. I mean, for anybody who thinks we just sit down and
oh yeah.
I mean, I think there are some. No, I don't know. I don't want to say that, because I do think some people like write so prolifically and formulaically that it sort of feels like, but I don't know what that's like, because I feel like, God, every time. One of the things I had to learn from work was, we've talked about this, like when I edit something, I never go back and read what the person said, whether they're taking my edit or not, because it's like, at first I would be like, hey, no, that was a really good point. You should have done what I said. Now it's like, eh. So, I mean, part of it is you do have to, get to a point where it's like, well, they think what they think or whatever, but,
Usually it's just...
No, but anyway, I lost my train there. A little part as a writer of your soul goes into everything that comes out of you. I firmly believe that. I don't care what it is, because writing to me is a magical gift. Yeah. And that's why I can't imagine a world where computers could write anything that could ever be like a human could write.
No.
Because there is a spark of divinity to me in writing. Right. And I know that sounds very lofty and, whatever,
and
there's
something that's missing in the formula too. And and there's something about reading a book that knowing that it comes from somebody who's, there's something this person has written. It comes from a person. I would never sit and read an AI book, and I don't know. There's just something about knowing that, like, I need that human connection. I need it. I need it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess, I don't know. And, I can't pick everybody's taste, but I just sort of feel like, I mean, there's like a certain universal tone to me, and maybe only writers would pick this up, or readers or whatever, voracious readers, writers. There's a certain tone that follows everything AI. I can just almost tell, always. There's just like a voice. Yeah. It has like a voice, a singular voice that you can just kind of tell. It's like, well, I don't know why or what, but I can just tell. And I feel like when something's written by a human, no matter how good or bad it is, it has that spark. It has that, it came out of somebody, even if it's derivative, even if they were highly influenced by somebody, it still has a little of that. Because I know the littlest things I write.
It feels real. It feels real, because the emotions are real. The process was real. I don't know. That's mine. That's what I think.
It's not my. Actually, everything you send in now, like to the agents, I mean, they are like, was any part of this book written by AI? They want to know. Yeah. And when I did my copy. When I did my copyright, I had to do the same thing. And I was like, absolutely none of it has been written by AI. None of it. It's like, I want to write, you have offended me to my soul, sir or madam.
Like, why would you ask that question?
That is not writing. That is not writing.
Yeah. No, I did the
same thing. That is
Thing.
programming.
Yeah. So.
No. Yeah. Anyway. So, another episode of Pivot Happens. And once again, we have our website, pivothappens.com, where we have a form that you may fill out with thoughts about episodes you'd like to see, or if you might be interested in coming on and sharing your pivot story, because we love that. So once again, signing off. And remember, I forget to do our sign off sometimes, which is, you'll be stronger than you know when you get there.
You'll be stronger than you know when you get there.
Yes. Seriously, we are 100% non-qualified, unprofessional armchair psychologists. The Pivot Happens podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and is not a substitute for any form of professional mental or physical health care. If you are experiencing any mental health issues, please reach out and find qualified help. If you do not currently have a support system in place, the NAMI helpline provides the one-on-one help and information necessary to tackle tough challenges that you, your family or friends are facing. Call, text or email with the helpline MF, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 988 crisis service available 24/7. Call 1-800-9506-264. Text NAMI to 62640. In a crisis? Call or text 988.